where we endeavor every week to come to you to bring an awareness to you that, guess what? Your money matters. It matters what you make. It matters what you spend. It matters what you save. It matters how you manage the money you've worked hard for, and that's been entrusted to you. So I'm so glad that you tuned in today to join us on this show. We are at the end of the year, and we have so many things that we need to wrap up to clean up the year to get started for a new year. So hopefully you are reevaluating your life and things that you're doing to see how you can improve and do better for the new year coming up. So right now, I want you to do is just call a friend, call a neighbor, let them know Real Money Matters is on the air. And I would love to hear from you. I'd like to know that these programs are helping you and that you are able to gain some insight on your money and things that you've been doing in the past. Perhaps you can change and do better. And so I want to hear from you. I need to hear from you. So give me a call or email me, better yet, at realmoneymatters@rachelrkennedy.com. Send me an email. I love to hear your comments. I love to hear what your thoughts are about the show. And if you have any questions or testimonials, I tell you, I have a young lady that I was helping about a month ago. I met with her. I'm so proud of her. She needed help with her budgeting, and so we had an appointment, and she's made some changes, some tough changes to get her into a better situation, and I'm just so proud of her. So I just want you all to know that you can change. All this, our financial situation is not going to change. It's not going to happen by chance. We have to actively participate in the process of making a change. So it's going to happen not by chance, but it's going to happen by choice and by change. You choose it and you can change it. So continue to stay tuned. Let somebody know we're on. Contact me. I'd love to hear from you. You can contact me at realmoneymatters@rachelrkennedy.com. I definitely look forward to hearing from you. So grab some pen and paper, your tablet, or whatever it is that you need to take notes. I want you to take notes because we're going to wrap up this year, and I'm going to give you some important tips and hints on what to do in order to set yourself up for a new year, how to evaluate where you are now so that you can get yourself in a better place. Now, if you're okay with where you are, then that is wonderful, and I applaud you that you've got a plan in place and that you're working the plan. But we are continuing to stress the B word. Yes, the B word. A budget. It's not a bad word, but it is the best word for your money. So I want you to grab something to write with. Get your favorite drink, a cup of java, whatever it is, and we are going to go into, sometimes we have to go and get down to the pain of a situation before we can change it. So we're going to talk about that. Today is December the 13th, and guess what? We have 12 days left of Christmas. Oh my goodness, the 12 days of Christmas. How many of you know that song? They sing it every year, but do you know that they do a cost of the 12 days of Christmas and how much it costs every year? And guess how much this year, the 12 days of Christmas, if you buy one set, because you know it repeats, the song repeats and repeats, so they have two numbers. So the first number, if you buy one set of the gifts mentioned in the verse, the cost of that is $27,393. Oh my goodness, $27,000 for the 12th day of Christmas. What if you had a budget like that for Christmas? Oh my goodness, how many people could you help? But in that song, I don't know, a hen, a golden ring, I don't even know all the lyrics to the song, but it's $27,000. That's up from last year. Last year they said it was 7%. It was up 7.7% from last year, according to the Christmas Price Index. You know, they analyze these things. How do you get a job doing that? You know, who figures all this stuff out? But it was the PNC Wealth Management. They update that yearly or annually concerning that, because some people want to know, and some people maybe make it a tradition of doing that. Who knows? But I just thought that was an interesting fact to bring to you today, that it's going to cost $27,393 to buy one set of the items mentioned in the 12th day of Christmas. So go out and get it, right? Wherever you can. And then on the other end, if they said if you purchase all 364 items. So all those items are mentioned in the song 364 times. They have time to figure all this stuff out, right? So if you go and purchase all that stuff, it's $114,000, $114,651 if you purchase all the items that have been repeated in that song. So I just thought that was an interesting fact. Who does that? I don't know. Maybe somebody makes it like some rich person. They may want to do that kind of thing just for something different for Christmas. So if you haven't saved $27,000, don't worry about it. You're okay. Hopefully you won't overspend your budget for the holidays. You know, the holidays can be a real it can really destroy your budget. So I want you to be careful and be mindful. Keep in mind your goals and your what's your objectives to your financial situation, and we're going to go further in details about that later on in the show. We're going to review from last week some of the points that we got from our CPA guest speaker who was on, our guest who came on and told us some interesting things. We're going to review all that. But in the meantime, what I want to do is also mention the fact that I am the president and the CEO of Precise Bookkeeping and Accounting. Sometimes I just want to keep that before you, let you know that I am available for bookkeeping and accounting purposes. If you have that kind of need for your business, especially at the end of the year, there's so many forms and things that you must fill out and have prepared. And usually when you're dealing with a CPA, you know, they're going to charge you a lot more if they have to do the bookkeeping part of your business. So if you have all your receipts in a book or in a box somewhere and you have to sort through those, you know, the best thing for that kind of situation is to continue to do it on a monthly basis. If you just analyze that on a monthly basis, it's going to help you figure out what identify your bottom line, let you know what your tax liability, so it's not a big surprise at the end of the year. So I want you to keep that in mind. And if you would like a free consultation concerning your business and the things that you're doing, I do small to mid-sized businesses, churches, as well as individuals who don't have the time or the interest to manage their own personal finance. So I have an array of clientele that range from small business to large business and to individuals as well. So keep that in mind. And professionals, I manage professionals' personal finances as well. And it is done in confidence, so you don't have to worry about anybody knowing about your specific situation. So contact me. You can also contact me at Real Money Matters at RachelRKennedy.com, and I'd love to come and talk to you. I do on-site accounting. What does that mean? I come to your location, and I come to where you are. I don't have you to send me your information. I think that's very sensitive, and that it's important that you keep your records locked up and secure at your own location. So I'll come. I'm very flexible with my hours, and I am available for that. So I wanted to mention that before we get going. Got a quote for today, and my quote for today, I thought it was interesting. We're talking about our budget and expenses and things that we spend our money on, which we're going to be talking more in depth about it a little later. But my quote for today said, "It's easy to meet expenses. Everywhere you go, they are there." There they are. I mean, wherever you go, you can meet your expenses. They're always somewhere around. You got to pay for something. So I had a little food for thought. Think about before you spend something. This is a food for thought. Think about how long you have to work in order to earn that money to pay for something. What do I mean? For instance, so if you have an item that costs $100, so you have an item that you want to purchase that's $100. If you make $25 an hour, so you gauge that based on what your hourly wage is. So if you're not making $25 an hour, it's going to take you longer. And if you're making more than $25 an hour, it'll take you less. But say, for instance, I'm going to buy an item that's $100. Then I make $25 an hour. It's going to take me not 4 hours. You say, well, it's only $4 I have to work because that's $100. No, because you have to think about the taxes that come out. So for an item that you want to purchase, you're going to have to work 5 hours. You have to work 5 hours to pay for an item that costs $100. Do you really want to do that? that's something to think about. If you put your time into the money that you have to spend on an item, you might reevaluate where you're going to put your money, where you're going to put your dollars. Is it really worth me to go and buy a dress or an outfit for $100, and it took me 5 hours to make that? Now keep in mind, if you don't make $25 an hour, it could have taken you 10 hours. If you make $10 an hour, that's 11 hours, 12 hours you have to work just to spend $100. So keep in mind, that's a way to think about an item that is your time or your money. Sometimes we have more time than we have money, so we have to reevaluate how we do our spending. So I thought that was a good quote for today. So the quote again is, it's easy to meet expenses. Everywhere you go, there they are. And that was done by somebody anonymous today. Last week we had Mr. Harold Montgomery on the show. Oh my goodness, he brought us some very important issues concerning tax problems, IRS problems, and hopefully, if you're in that situation, that know that there is help for you and you can get a resolve. Mr. Montgomery has been doing it for years, and I do highly recommend him to help you with those needs. If you review the show from last week, you can get all his contact information. Or if you want to contact me, you can contact me at realmoneymatters@RachelRKennedy.com, and I can put you in touch with him as well. But it was a few things he mentioned last week that I thought were highlights that I want to go over today. Just to highlight, if you didn't get a chance to see the show, a lot of people are fearful of the IRS. My quote last week was, if you notice, the IRS says theirs is theirs, the money is theirs. So I thought that was good for last week. But it's not a point where you're afraid of the IRS. It's just a matter of being prepared. As long as you prepare and do what you're supposed to do, you don't have any problems with the IRS. But the things that stood out to me was the filing of back taxes. Oh my goodness. If you have not filed your back taxes, you can only get a refund back to 3 years. 3 years. Oh my goodness. So if you haven't filed in 4 years and you were to get a refund on that latest year, they will not give that to you. They will keep that. But guess what? On the other hand, if you owe from 5 or 6 years, and if you owe them money, they require you to pay that. So hopefully you're not in a situation where you have back taxes that you haven't filed when you're required to file. But if you are in that situation, just get it cleaned up. Just go ahead and do it and deal with the consequences, whether you owe or not, because it's going to be a weight off of your mind. Even sometimes we ignore situations and things that come up, and what happens is it just becomes a weight on our mind, and it's a stressful thing, and it's always in the back of your mind, I got to do that, I got to do that. So it's always better just deal with it, because when you deal with it and get it out the way, then you can resolve it and you can move on to the next thing, and it won't hinder you. You don't want things to hinder you. A lot of times, if we don't deal with back issues, they hinder our progress to move forward, because it's just something that holds you back and holds you back. Say, well, I haven't done that, I haven't done that. So what I want you to do this year, because we're getting close to the end of the year, and I know a lot of times some people get down around this time of the year because they haven't gotten the things they wanted, or they haven't positioned themselves in a place where they think they should be. But guess what? Wherever you are right now is where you're supposed to be. Wherever you are, that's where you're supposed to be. But guess what? You don't have to stay there. There's always room for improvement. There's always room for us to grow and do better. And so that's what I'm here to help you. Bringing an awareness to things. Sometimes it doesn't feel good and you don't like it. But when you deal with the reality of it, and what we have all these reality shows, people want to know what the real. Can you handle the real? Can you really handle it? Everybody want to say real, so let's be real with ourselves. Let's be real with ourselves concerning our financial situation, how we can improve it and make it better, so that we can go and enjoy life and do other things and not have that worry over our mind about our money, because we're going to get in control, in the driver's seat, and we're going to tell it where to go. So that was one thing. I got off on a tangent. I don't know where that came from. We were talking about filing back taxes. But anyways, and the other thing that I thought was very important, now I know this is the case for business owners, but I didn't realize it also affected individuals, that if you find at the end of the year that you still owe taxes, that you still have a tax liability that you're going to owe when you file your taxes, then you have up until January 15th of the next year. So, for instance, so if you find that you still owe some taxes when you get your W-2s and all your statements and everything, and you may be short a few $100s or something to that effect, you can still pay into that after December 31st. You have until January the 15th, and what you can do is make an estimated payment to apply it to your 2013 taxes, and when you file, it'll show as a payment, so it'll offset that, so you don't have to pay it when you file your return. So that was something. I knew that for business owners, but I knew it also applies to individuals, so keep that in mind. And if you are a business owner, I encourage you to send in your quarterly estimated payments. What are those? Those are an estimate based on how much profit you've made in your business, if you've made a profit. And I think it's good to quarterly evaluate your business to see where you are, so you'll know where you want to grow and where you want to go. Which brings me to another point that Mr. Montgomery brought out last week, which I thought was very insightful concerning business owners. I'm talking to business owners. Determine your break-even point. Wow, that was such a revelation for me. To determine your break-even point, and even how you can bill your customers and bill your clients, or bill your product that you sell as far as pricing. What you do is you get your fixed costs, the things that you pay normally, regularly, that's concerning your business. If you have a building, that would be the rent, utilities, things of that nature. Variable costs, things that your inventory that you purchase, or items that you purchase to do your business, that cost varies if it's not a set amount. And then you determine the amount you want to make for that year. We should set a goal as business owners, how much profit we want to make for the year. And then based on all those numbers added together, you can determine how much your break-even number is. I love that. And that'll get you in a point where you have profit and you know how to price out your product or your services. So that was another thing I thought was good that he brought out. Also, I want to encourage those who do their itemized deductions on their tax returns. Some people who does the itemization, they know what that is, a Schedule A, where they get to what happens is if your itemized deductions are more than what the government allows you for your filing status, you get the higher of the two numbers. So I want to encourage those who have that you can still give to a charitable donation, to a charitable contribution. You can donate to a charity and still have that can go towards your taxes for this year, and it'll reduce some of your tax liability. So you still have time up until January 31st to be able to give to your and support a nonprofit or charity of your choice that you feel that'll be helpful during this season, because a lot of people are doing good during this season. They're helping the poor, they're feeding the poor, they're helping single mothers with toys. They're doing a lot of things, so you may want to be a part of that. And then in addition to being a part of supporting something of that nature, you also can potentially use that for a tax deduction too as well. So just wanted to keep those things in mind. Some people may not think about that when they're getting towards the end of the year and it'll be January. It's like, oh, I could have gave that. So if you have something in mind that you're already going to give, also clean out your closet. Get rid of some of those clothes you're not wearing. Oh my gosh, and you can donate that to many agencies that are tax deductible. We had an agency that was in our neighborhood about a week or so ago, and we had tons of stuff. When I say tons of stuff, I mean it for real. And we went through and got rid of some things we're not using, because guess what, somebody else can benefit from something you're not using, and you have it and it's just cluttered and it's taking up space. So I encourage you still have time. You can donate some of it's called a non-cash contribution, and you can deduct that on your taxes as well. So I encourage you that clean up your closet, your houseware, under the sink somewhere. You got all this stuff that can be useful and beneficial. Maybe you haven't worn it, it's slightly used. Now, you don't want to give away something that you don't want. Oh no, ever. You always want to give away something that you like and that you would want, because then somebody else can benefit from it and enjoy it as well. So I wanted to mention that. for now. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a little break here, then I'm going to come back and we're going to go over some more important tips. So call a friend, call a neighbor, let them know I'm on, refresh your drink, and come back in just a moment, and we'll go get into some further tips for the year-end season. Thanks again. Let them know we were on. Hopefully you formulated some questions or even jotted down some things that are going to be beneficial for you for this end of the year. And yes, we're still talking about the B word. It's the budget. Yes, it is not a bad word, but it is the best word for your money. So we want to go over some tips for the end of the year. I want you to make sure you keep tabs on your holiday spending. Like I said, it's easy to go over budget with gifts and things. Consider volunteering. I mentioned that before. Consider volunteering. If you haven't saved for Christmas this year, then count it all joy. Just don't even worry about it. Start saving for next year. And then later on, I have another new saving plan that I want to introduce to you, a challenge I want you to do for this year. But we'll get to that a little later. But volunteer. Consider making some home gifts, some things from your home. With the computer age these days, you can get all these templates and things on the computer where you can print out cards, or you can make things that have meaning, and they're not just generic. You can write a poem, or you can just talk from your heart and let your family and friends know that you care about them during this season. You may not be able to give to them monetarily, but it's the thought. A lot of times I think we get caught up in the amount. So it's not the amount, but it's the thought. It's not the quantity, but it is the quality of what you're doing, the quality of your giving. And when you give something that's so simple, I just think about children, when they're younger and coming up, and they give you this raggedy looking piece of paper. And it is raggedy, tell the truth, it's honest, but it's from their heart, and they drew you with your head on the side, or just something that's not really what we would call perfect, but it is perfect because it's from their heart. So your giving has to be from your heart, and your giving. Bake some cookies. I talk about that. If you're not a baker, then maybe you know somebody that is a baker. And these days they make it easy to bake because they have it already pre-mixed. And you can just go and cut it and put it in the oven. You don't have to get the flour and the sifter and all of that and beat it all up. It's already made. So do something creative this year. Think of a way that you can show your love and appreciation to your families and friends without going outside your budget. Because guess what? After December's up, you still had to live in January, and you got to live in February, and you got to live in the months to come. And you don't want to go into debt and start charging things because, excuse me, you feel guilty, or you feel pressured to have to give a certain thing or a certain amount. So, just do it and know that it came from your heart, and you can't control how people accept things from you. That's their issue. That's not your issue. So you just know that you're doing it from your heart. Think about regifting. What is regifting? Some people don't like that. But regifting, if somebody has given you a gift, you haven't used it. It's just sitting on the shelf. I've gotten gifts like, those beautiful waterfall things, and they're calm and relaxing, and they're wonderful, and the idea of them is nice, but I maybe have 2 or 3 of them just sitting at my house. So what do? Do I just let them continue to sit there and not get used? But think of somebody who can need a stress release, who can benefit from that, and I don't think there's any harm in that, because what happened is the tension of the person. Sometimes people give you gifts out of their heart, but it's not really for you, and they don't really know you like that. So it's okay to feel free to release it. I give you permission to release those gifts that you haven't used, and they're just sitting in your house and they're taking space. I promise you, I have a room, my meditation room, where I do my meditation, that I have gifts that I've bought down through the years. I accumulate because I'm a giver, and I like to give away things, and I love things that cost $5. I tell you, it's something about $5 with me. I just feel like I got such a deal if I pay $5 for an item that was regularly $20 or $30 or $24, and I come across those things throughout the year, and usually it's in my budget. You can spend $5, and then so at Christmas times or at gift giving times or birthdays, I can literally go into this room and pick out something to give away to people. So that's something you can think about. Just don't think about giving during the season of giving, which is Christmas, but think about it all the time. And if there's a deal, $5, it won't hurt you. $10, that's pushing it. Me, that's just my limit, $5. If I find something on sale, this past week I found a salad lunch thing. It was regular $6.99. No, it was regular $7.99, and it was on sale for $4.70. And I bought it. I really did, because then I took my lunch and I packed a lunch and a salad, and it was healthy, and I saved money. I didn't spend money. So I know I'm going off in a tangent, but holiday, please just do not let the holidays get you into overspending, get you into a place where you feel guilty or bad because you don't have to give. Just plan that next year I'm not going to be here. Next year I'm going to be in a better position because I'm going to save, and I'm going to save on purpose. I'm not just going to save without a goal, but I'm going to have a goal, and that is for Christmas. And you'll be surprised, a little bit will add up. A little bit. If you keep it, $10 a week could be $520. So you double that, $20 a week. How quick can we spend $20? So that you have over $1,000 if you just save $20 a week and be committed to it. I mentioned before about putting it into a Christmas fund at a financial institution. I love that. Yeah, you don't get interest on it, but guess what? You don't have access to it until a certain point. They won't even release those funds. And so some people need that help. Some people need that discipline. People need that control in their life. And so once you get in the habit of saving, That's what it's all about. It's just get into a habit of doing it. And once you get in that habit and develop that habit, then it'll just come naturally, and you'll like it and you enjoy it. You can start out with a small amount, and then you can always increase that when you get unexpected money. Always save. Even though you're in a situation that maybe you still have debt and you're still paying down debt, you can always still save. And so since we're talking about saving, I'm just going to go ahead and talk about my challenge I have for you for the new year. And it is the 52-week money challenge. And if you follow this plan for 52 weeks, at the end of 52 weeks, you will have $1,378. Wow. That it would be a great amount to spend on Christmas. So how are we going to do this? I'm going to tell you right now. So starting January the 3rd, every week, you're going to save whatever that week is. What am I saying? So week 1, January 3rd, you're going to save $1. So you're going to have $1. Week 2, you're going to save $2. And so on January 10th, you're going to save $2. So then you're going to have $3. I know it doesn't sound like much, but if you do that every week, so week number 3, you're going to save $3, and then you're going to have $6. Okay? Then week number 4, I'm going to save $4. So whatever week it is, that's the amount of money you're going to save. So the most you'll ever have to save in a week is $52. So we're going to build up, and it's a steady progress thing. But guess what? At the end of 52 weeks, and I calculated it out, so by December the 26th, which is the day after Christmas of next year, 2014, you will have $1,378. Now, could you use that for gifts for people? Couldn't that be a savings plan for you? Couldn't you do that? So how are you going to do this? Well, first of all, I suggest you get an envelope. I talk about the envelope system. Just get an envelope and put on the outside of the envelope 52-week money challenge. 52-week money challenge. 52-week money savings challenge. That's what I want you to put on the outside of that envelope. And every week, be committed. I have a checklist. If you'd like, I can send you this checklist that I developed that tells you what day of the week, that tells you how much you save, and it tells you what your account balance is in your savings. So what I want you to do every week, because the most you'll be able to save or you'll have to save in a week is $52. So, but we're going to build up to that. So the first half of the year, it's going to seem like it's not a lot of money. By the end of June, you would have saved up $351. And that doesn't seem like a lot of money for the first 6 months of the year. But guess what? We're developing a habit. We're starting off small, and we're increasing it, and we're getting larger. So the first part of the year, you're only going to save $351. But then, starting with the second part of the year, you'll see the money is going to begin to double and triple, and it's going to grow even more. Why? Because you're going to save, by the end of the second part of the year, you will have saved over $1,000. Isn't that something? Just because of the amount that you're going to save. So I want you to take that challenge. I'm going to do it. I've already got my other Christmas fund in place that started in November. So I'm going to have a big Christmas fund coming up next year. So I'm already planning for next year. And it's just an automatic thing, and it's a habit. Those of you who have jobs, for your Christmas fund, just have it automatically payroll deducted. Oh, that is so simple, because you don't even have to think about it. It'll automatically come out of your check, and you won't even see it. And that money is going for your future. Plan for your future, and I encourage you. So take that challenge. I want you to contact me. Let me know that you are going to accept that challenge. Starting January the 3rd, we're going to save every week, whatever that week is. That's the amount of money we're going to save, and we're going to have a good Christmas for next year, and you'll be able to do what you want to do. And so I encourage you, if you cannot have the discipline to put that in the envelope and not touch it, then get somebody else to help you. Maybe you know somebody else that's a saver that you trust. You got to trust them now, because you don't want them to spend your money. Maybe they can hold that for you, or maybe your mom or your spouse, or if you and your spouse are working together and you both do that, then that can double it. That can put you at over $2,600, $2,700. So if you have two household incomes, then both of you all can do it. And then it's a small steps to beginning to save. and it's just getting you in the habit, and it's a challenge. So contact me, let me know you're interested in the challenge, let me know what you think about that, if you like that, if you think you can do that, because I know you can do it. It's just a matter of disciplining yourself and having a goal and setting a goal that I'm going to be a saver, and I'm going to save on purpose. So contact me at Real Money Matters at RachelRKennedy.com. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know you're going to accept that challenge. Let me know that you're going to be in this with me. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Join me and let me know. Let me put you on my list and let me know that you are part of this plan, and we're going to have a goal, and we're going to be examples to others how they can save very simply. So I look forward to hearing you from that. Now, in the same sense of all of that, I want you to reevaluate your spending for the year. Evaluate what you've been doing. See, if it hasn't worked for you, then maybe we definitely need to change it. So what I want you to do is for the upcoming year, the heart of the budget is really not even the numbers and how much you're spending. It really isn't. You have to take a long look at your life, and that could be challenging. Where is your money going? What are you spending your dollars on? That's what I want you to do. Evaluate your current expenses and what you're spending money on. A lot of times our spending is emotional, and so we have to be careful with that. When you're starting to buy things and you don't know why you're buying them, then you should take a hold and wait and say, what is going on with my budget here? Why am I spending money that I know I don't need to spend? So the heart of it is not even really the numbers. Look at your life. What are you spending your money on? Remember the example I gave you about how long it takes you to earn the money you're spending. So if it takes you 6 hours to earn $100, do you really just want to spend it just on anything or something that's not going to invest or make your life better? So those are things I want you to evaluate, to look at for the end of the year coming up. So again, accept the challenge. We're going to save together. We're going to save on purpose. We're going to do the 52-week challenge for the savings. We're going to do our Christmas fund, and we're going to be in a better position next year to be able to give monetarily. In the meantime, give of yourself, give out of love, and make it important to you, and it'll be important to someone else. So for more information about budgeting and ways to save, I want you to visit my website. Go on my website and you'll get more important tips on budgeting, and you'll get tools there that will help you to develop your budget as well. So visit my website, and that is www.RachelRKennedy.com. Again, www.RachelRKennedy.com. I'd love for you to go on, check out the website, let me know your thoughts on it. Look at the important tips I have about what destroys your budget and what makes and how you can stick with your budget. So we're talking about the B word. Yes, the B word, a budget that works for you. It's not a bad word, the B word, but it is the best word for your money. So until next week, hopefully you've gotten some good important tips that's going to help you as you go forth and prepare for the new year. I know you can do it, and I'm excited about it. Your future is looking brighter. So until next week, just remember that your money matters. It matters what you make. It matters what you spend. It matters what you save. It matters how you manage the money you've worked hard for, and that's been entrusted to you. It's your money. Make it